So this is lesson 17 for Saxon 4, adding in column method with regrouping. So when we're looking at add-in column method, just remember sometimes how we see numbers is like this. We have our two addends and it asks us what the number is. Column method is just putting it into the up and down format. Okay, column method is really handy because when you are starting to get bigger and bigger numbers, let's say you have 562 plus 63, you can line everything up really nicely. Ones in the ones column, tens in the tens column, hundreds in the hundreds column, so on and so forth. This is why it's called column method. All right, so let's take a look at what we're looking at today. So if we're going to look at 28 plus 26 plus 29 plus 29, and we're going to add them together. Okay, now this is column method. Ones column, tens column. Okay, and we will have to be regrouping. So regrouping is when we have too much in one column and we have to move it over to the next one. So when you're doing multiple numbers like this, how I always do it is I look for the pairs that I already know right off the top of my head. 9 and 9 is 18. I know that one right away. Okay, I know that 8 plus 8 is 16. So that means if that is 16, and we have an extra 10 here, I'm adding an extra 10 into 16, making it 26. So 8 and 18 equals 26. Ooh. I am left with the 6. I'm going to bring the 6 over, add it in. 6 and 26, well, I know 6 plus 6 is 12. So that's giving me a 2 in the ones column, 1 to carry over, and 6 plus 2, 1 plus 2 is 3. So I had to do regrouping even within just the ones column. Okay, I'm going to do all of that again, just slower. Okay, so what I did is I started off with 9 and 9. Okay, 9 plus 9, you can do it a couple ways. You can take 9 fingers and you can add up, or you can count up. So counting up would be 9. You'd start 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I've now added 9 fingers. I get 18. Now, you can keep using this method where you just count up. So I can go to 18, and maybe I'm going to go to 6 now. And I'm going to go, okay, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay? And I'm going to have this, and it's going to be 24. And I'm going to start at 24, and I'm going to count up 8. And I can keep doing that, and that can be one method. So that is the counting up method. Another way you can do it is you can, once I get 18, let's say I counted up and got 18, I have used both 9s. I am now going to use the 6. So I'm going to come bring the 6 down, and I'm going to add it together. Putting it in column method, I can do 6 add 8. Well, that's a little bit simpler than counting up from 18. So now I'm going to count up from 8 6 times. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that means I have a 4, and this is my regrouping. I cannot put 14 into one column. I have to put it over into the tens column. So that 10, okay, because remember from the last lesson we had expanded form. 14 is actually a 10 and a 4. Okay, so that 10 is going into the tens column. The 4 gets to stay in the ones column. So there's 4 and 10. 10 plus 10, because remember this one is here is also a 10. If I was putting 18 into expanded form, it would be that. So that's a 10 and a 10. 10 plus 10 is 20, or in our case 2, and you get 24. And I can keep going, and I can keep doing the same thing. I'm now going to add 8 into 24, and 8 plus 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That is 2, carry the 10. 10 plus 2, 20 is 30, and I end up with 32. Okay, both ways you will get the same answer, or you should. Just depends on which way you want to go. If you want to count up for all of them, you can. If you want to do column method, you can. If you want to just do it in your head, you can. Okay, but either way, we got 32. Now, just like we had to do before, 32 is actually 30 plus 2. 30 cannot sit in the ones column because it is a 10. So 2 stays in the ones column. The 30 has to go into the tens column. So that's what's going to come up here. Okay, and now I can add all these together. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that was just me counting up. Okay, again, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, that's 11. Now, remember, I've said 11, but we're actually doing this with 20s right now, so there's an extra 0 in there. So what I actually just added was 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 30. So in this case, that 11 actually has a 0 at the end of it. Okay, and it is 110, which is why that looks like that. Okay, so when you're adding in the tens column and regrouping, we say just the single numbers because it's a little bit easier for us to remember and understand. But you have to remember that this column is the tens column, which means 28 is actually 20 plus 8. Okay, you're not adding 2, you're adding 20. We just simplify it by saying 2. Okay, let's look at one more together. I'll go a little bit faster with the second one. So we're going to look at 227, add 88, add 6. Now, this is where column method really comes in handy. You want to make sure all the ones stay together, all the tens stay together, and all the hundreds stay together. So 7 add 8. Well, 7 add 8, I can do it one of two ways. I can count up. I can just know what the answer is. I can do however you'd like as long as you're getting the correct answer, which is 15. Okay, 7 and 8 is 15. 15 plus 6, let's count up for this one. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So that makes this 21. I've now used all three numbers. Okay, remember 21 is actually 20 plus 1. So the 1 is coming into the ones column. The 20 has to go into its proper column, the tens. Okay, this is now 8 plus 2, so we can count up 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, remember that 12 is actually 120 because that 0 is there. So that 10 gets to stay. The 100 has to move on, and then we're adding the hundreds. 2 plus 1 is 3. So you end up with 321. That is adding in column method with regrouping. Now, this should be a little bit of a review. If it's not and you want a more detailed lesson, please go to Addition Level 2 and Level 3 in Math Concepts. Lesson 17, Adding in Column Method with Regrouping for Saxon 4.